morning, how are you? Hope you had a good weekend. So let's do our hello song. Are you ready? Hello, 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 and how are you? I'm fine, and I hope that you are too. Hola, 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 ¿y cómo estás? Muy bien, espero tú también. Shake hands, shake hands, shake hands next to you. Shake hands, and say how do you do? How do you do? So it is week 6 of our e-learning, which means we have another animal who's joined us. Can you see who it is? Let's see. We had tiger, puppy, mouse, rabbit, dog, and we now have this week, can you guess what animal she is? She's a dolphin, and her name is Dolphy. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good morning. How are you? Okay. So let's do our ABC song. Are you ready? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time won't you sing with me? Well done. So the nursery rhyme for this week is starlight, star bright, first star I see tonight. I wish I may, I wish I might, have the wish I wish tonight. Okay. So repeat the 2 words after me, and it's a ding if it rhymes and an if it doesn't. And remember, it's the last sound that you hear in a word that's the rhyming, not the first but the last. So, star car, ding, light bright, ding, first he, CB, ding, wish dish, ding. Okay, first sound you hear in a word, okay? In, it, is, itch, insect, Okay, now we are going to do 3 sounds to make a word. Are you ready? B-A-G, bug. P-A-P, pup. H-A-G, hug. B-A-N, bun. N-A-T, nut. Good job. Now the last sound you hear in a word. You ready? Wish, sh. Like, k. Hid, d. Moon, n. Bright, t. Good job. Now we're going to take a word and we are going to split it apart to 3 sounds. Okay, so repeat after me. Cat, k-at. Man, m-a-n. Tag, t-a-g. Van, v-a-n. Nap, n-a-p. Good job. Okay, so the letter this week is, let's see, the letter, see this? What letter is this? It's a Y. And the Y sound is like yeah, yeah. Can you say that? Yeah. And look, she is, what's she doing? It's a yawn. You say yawn? Yeah, yawn. Good job. So I went and looked around my house and I thought, how many things can I find that start with the letter Y? So there weren't actually too many. So I also had to go and go on the internet and find photographs of things that begin with the letter Y. But first, what did I find in my house? I found, do you know what this is? It's yarn. Yarn. Can you say yarn? Good. Then I found this. You see what this is? It's a yo-yo. That a yo-yo. There we go. So a yo-yo goes up and down, right? And you can also use the word, I think, if you know, you're going to go up and down. Oh, I'm going up and down like a yo-yo. There we go. Describe it. Now, what color is this? It's yellow. You say yellow? Yellow. Now, here is a photograph. Now, this is my daughter, Mariella, when she was young. Can you say the word young? Yeah. Young. That's the opposite of old. Young. Now what else did I find that began with Y? On the internet. Here we go. Yak. Can you say yak? So you repeat the word after me, okay? Yak. You know what this is? It's a yam. Now, this is a plant. See them a lot in the desert states. It's a yucca. Yucca. Now this is one of my favorite plants. I have some in my garden. It's beginning to grow. It's on our document on our spring watch. It is called yarrow. Yarrow. Here we go. Can you guess what this is? It's the yellow bit of the egg. Yolk. So it's a yellow yolk. My yak yawned and ate a yellow yolk as he walked in the yarrow. So you can make up sentences with words that begin with Y. Now this one. Here's a house. And you go into the yard. Okay, yard. You can call it a backyard or a front yard. A yard is the outside area that is attached to your house. Now, yard can also mean it's a length. It's a measurement on how long something is. So a yard is 3 feet. So if you take your ruler and you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 3, that's a foot, and 3 feet make a yard. You count, say yard. So a yard for measurement is 36 inches. 3 12s. Should we count to 12? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now let's go on with the second one, okay? So after 12 is 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Now let's do the next 12. Are you ready? After 24 is 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. So a yard is 36 inches. Good job. Now then, what if I said, do you like ice cream? I think most of you would say yes. 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 Yes starts with the letter Y. Now what if I said to you, would you like some chicken nuggets with your ice cream? Would you like, with those chicken nuggets and ice cream, shall I put some Coca-Cola on the top? I expect most of you would say yuck. 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 Bleh. It's yuck. Yuck begins with Y. Now, what is sailing on the sea? It is a... Now, if you said sailboat, that's correct too, but another word for a sailboat is yacht. Can you say yacht? Yacht. Now this one I thought was really, really cute. It's another yawn. Ooh, it's a yawn. Look, she's sweet. Little baby is yawning. She's so sweet. And last of all, he is a character in a film. Can you think of a character in a film that begins with the letter Y? Yeah. Now, he's not a human being. He's not a person as such. He's not a human being. Yeah. Y, and then after the Y there's an O, so it's yo, then a D, and then an A. It is Yoda. There he is. Yoda. Yeah. Okay, so we are going to talk about a character. Now, a character is a person or an animal or a being or a creature or a thing that is in a story. So, for example, you could have a person like Goldilocks, and then the three bears are also a character. Or you could have a tractor, could be a character in a book. So I have 3 books here that we're going to read, and we're going to see who the characters are. Now you have, very often you have what is called a main character, and that is the character that generally the story is either about or the character is doing things in a story. And they are generally throughout the whole of the story. Then you can have minor characters that may come in for part of the story, and they may come in once and not be heard of again in the story. Or they could come in once and then a little later come in again. But let's see. Now, we have read this book before, so let's see who the character's in. It says, "Thank you, Omu." Now let's see. This is the front of the book, so it's giving us a lot of clues. So it says, thank you, Omu. So who do you think is going to be the main character in this book? That's right, it's Omu. Okay, so let's read the book again and see what happens. Thank you, Omu by Ojimura. Excuse me, dog. Here we go. On the corner of First Street and Long Street, on the very top floor, Omu was cooking thick red stew in a big fat pot for a nice evening meal. She seasoned and stirred it and took a small taste. Oh, what delicious stew, Omu said. Tonight's dinner will surely be the best I have ever had. With that, Omu put down her spoon and went to read a book before supper. As the thick red stew simmered on the stove, its scrumptious scent wafted out the window and out the door, down the hill towards the street and around the block, until there was a knock at the door. Someone was at the door. When Omu opened it, she saw a little boy. Little boy, Omu exclaimed, what brings you to my home? I was playing with my race car down the hill when I smelled the most delicious smell, the little boy replied. What is it? Thick red stew. Stew, he sighed. That sure sounds yummy. Yummy. Omu thought for a moment. She was saving her stew for dinner, but she had made quite a bit. It would not hurt to share. Would you like some? The little boy nodded. So Omu spooned out some of the thick red stew from the big fat pot for her nice evening meal. Thank you, Omu, the little boy said, and went on his way. With that, Omu closed the door and went back to her book. As she read, her thick red stew's scrumptious scent wafted out the window and down the door, out the door and down the hill, towards the street and around the block, until someone was at the door. When Omu opened the door, this time she saw a police officer. Miss Police Officer, Omu exclaimed, what brings you to my home? I was on duty down the street when I smelled the most delicious smell, Miss Police Officer replied. What is it? Thick red stew. Ah, stew, she said, and her mouth watered. That sounds mighty tasty. Omu thought for a moment. There was still enough to share. Would you like some? The police officer nodded. Once again, Omu spooned out some thick red stew from the big fat pot for her nice evening meal. Thank you, Omu, the police officer said, and went on her way. So for the second time, Omu closed the door and went back to her book. Sure enough, as she read, her thick red stew's scrumptious scent wafted out the window and out of the door, down the hall towards the street and around the block until again someone was at Omu's door. This time when she opened it, she saw a hot dog vendor. Mr. Hot Dog Vendor, Omu exclaimed, what brings you home? To my home. I was selling my hot dogs down the block when I smelled the most delicious smell, Mr. Hot Dog Vendor replied. What is it? Thick red stew. Oh, stew, the vendor licked his lips. That sounds quite delectable. So Omu spooned out some thick red stew from the big fat pot for her nice evening meal. Thank you, Omu, the hot dog vendor said, and went on his way. Throughout the day, people from all across the neighborhood knocked on Omu's door. She fed a shop owner, a cab driver, a doctor, an actor, a lawyer, a dancer, a baker, an artist, a singer, an athlete, a bus driver, a construction worker, and even the mayor stopped by. and each time they knocked, Omu shared. Soon the sky darkened, the streetlights brightened, and it was finally time for dinner. But when Omu opened her big fat pot of thick red stew for her nice evening meal, it was empty. Omu sniffled. There goes the best dinner I ever had. Sorry and blue, she sat on the table with her empty pot until... What could that be, Omu wondered. When she opened her door, she saw the little boy, the police officer, the hot dog vendor, the shop owner, the cab driver, the doctor, the actor, the lawyer, the dancer, the baker. Why, everyone she fed today was at her door. I'm sorry, everyone, Omu sighed. My thick red stew is all gone. I have nothing left to share. The little boy tugged at Omu's sleeve. Don't worry, Omu. We are not here to ask. We are here to give. The police officer carried in a fresh salad. The mayor entered with a roast chicken. The baker brought a collection of sweet goodies. Even the little boy presented Omu with a card in a special red, shiny envelope. Everyone who had knocked on Omu's door that day squeezed into her tiny apartment, and together they ate, danced, and celebrated. While Omu's big fat pot of thick red stew was empty, her heart was full of happiness and love. That dinner was the best she had ever had. Thank you, Omu. So this is the back of the book. Now we're going to have 2 more books. Oops. But before that, let's see, who was the character in this book? It was Omu, and she was the main character. Now, can you think of any other characters who were in the book who came in? There was the little boy. Who else? Who came second? It was the police officer, right? And also there was one, let's think of one more character. There was the hot dog vendor. So those were minor characters. But Omu was, the story was about her and her soup. So here is another book. It's The Very Busy Spider by Eric Carle. Now, who do you think the character is going to be in this book? A big clue on the front. It is the spider. And let's have a look at the back. There she is again. What's this called? It's a spider web. And do you remember when we talked about that shape last week that starts at a point and curls out from it? It is a spiral. Good job. So let's see who the characters are in this. The Very Busy Spider by Eric Carle. And he does the illustrations as well. One early morning, the wind blew a spider across the field. A thin, silky thread trailed from her body. The spider landed on a fence post near a farmyard. She began to spin a web with her silky thread. Nay, said a horse. Would you like to go for a ride? The spider didn't answer. She was very busy spinning her web. said the cow. Want to eat some grass? The spider didn't answer. She was very busy spinning her web. Baa! Bleated the sheep. Want to run in the meadow? The spider didn't answer. She was very busy spinning her web. Ma, ma, said the goat. Want to jump on the rocks? The spider didn't answer. She was very busy spinning her web. Now we're just going to take a pause in the story now, because who do you think is the main character in this book that we've learnt about so far? Right, it's the spider. Now we've had a goat and a sheep and a horse, but those are minor characters. Why do you think the spider is the main character? Right, it's because she is on every page. The whole story is about her spinning her web. So these other characters that come in, they just come to emphasize her story. They're just coming in for one page. Now, as we know, a book is made up of words, and then some books are also made up with pictures, so it's pictures and words. We have one other character in this book that, although she's not exactly the main character, she's on every single page as well, but there's been no mention of her in the words, but she has been in every page. Can you see who it is? Can you guess who it is? It's here. It's this fly. There's been no mention of her in the words, but in the picture, she's been in every single page. Okay, let's go on. Oink, oink, grunted the pig. Want to roll in the mud? The spider didn't answer. She was very busy spinning her web. Can you see the fly? Is she on the page? Woof, woof, barked the dog. Want to chase the cat? The spider didn't answer. She was very busy spinning her web. See the fly? Ow! Ow! Cried the cat. Want to take a nap? The spider didn't answer. She was very busy spinning her web. Quack, quack, called the duck. Want to go for a swim? The spider didn't answer. She had now finished her web. Cock-a-doodle-doo, crowed the rooster. Want to catch a pesty fly? And the spider caught the fly in her web, just like that. Woo woo, asked the owl. Who built this beautiful web? The spider didn't answer. She had fallen asleep. It had been a very, very busy day. Can you see her fast asleep in her web? So we have the front of the book, remember? And then the back. It shows her web that is finished. Remember the shape that we saw last week? It was a spiral, wasn't it? Starts at the middle and it goes round and round and round. Now, I have a third book, but before we go on to the third book, I want us to look at some of these emotions again. So, how did you feel when you woke up this morning? What was the first word that came into your mind when somebody said, how do you feel this morning? So I think mine was, I was happy this morning because I thought I saw the sun outside this morning and it just made it all brighter. And then all the flowers were out. I went for a walk. All the flowers were out. It was really sunny. A lot of colour on the street and the trees are beginning to come out. So I felt happy this morning. And then the other thing that I felt a little confident. I was like, okay, I've got this. We got this today. We can get through this day. This is a good day. We'll get through. We can do this. So that's confident. Now, how about this? How does this person look? It's confused. It's kind of like, oh, I've forgotten which way I should go. Should I go left? Should I go right at the stop sign? Should I go east, west, north, south? Oh, I just can't remember. I'm a little confused about where I should go. How about this emotion? It's sad. Can you do a sad face? Just a little sad. How about this one? Scared. Oh no, I'm scared. How about this one? Surprised. Is that for me? What a fabulous surprise. Surprised. How about this one? Angry. I really wanted to go out and play today, but it's raining. Little mad. Okay. How about this one? I did manage to go out and play today, and I ran 6 blocks. And I'm now very, very tired, so I'm exhausted. This is exhausted. Now, how about this one? Just a little shy. Just a little shy. Just gonna try something for the first time. I think I can do it. I'm just a little shy. I think if I just sit and watch, I don't have to say anything, but I think if I just sit and watch and I sit and listen, then I can get through this. Maybe the next time I'll say something. But right now I'm just a little shy. And that's okay. That's okay. How about this one? So boring. So boring. I've been sitting in this car for hours and it doesn't seem to be going anywhere. I'm so bored. I can't wait to jump outside and stretch my legs. This is so boring. Okay, bored. But you know what? If you're ever bored, just let your imagination go. Just imagine you're somewhere else. It's a good way to stop being bored. Now how about this one? Remember this one? Ugh. Disgusted. So when we were doing our letter Y, remember there's another word that you can say when you're disgusted. It is yuck. Yuck. Ugh. That's really yucky. Like having chicken McNuggets with chocolate ice cream. Ugh. Yuck. And then you add Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola on top of it. Ugh. Yuck. Disgusting. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Good. So we're now going to do this next book, and it is called Good News, Bad News. And we've done this book before, but what is neat about this book is it only has about 4 words. One extra word I think at the end, but generally there's only about 4 words in this book, and the rest is done through the illustrations. So it's a good book, and a lot of how you understand how each of these characters is feeling is through their faces. So you can see if you can identify any of the feelings that we've just gone through in the characters in this book. And this is the front cover. So we could think at the beginning, we think, okay, so it's got the name of the author, Jeff Mack, and there's no name for an illustrator, so he obviously did both. He did the words and the pictures. And it's opposites, isn't it? Good and bad, those are opposites, so we've learnt something about that. And this guy is a little bigger, so maybe he's the main character, but then maybe he's in every page as well. We'll have to have a look because he's featured on the front page. So it's okay to have 2 main characters in a book. And then we look at the back, and let's see, still the 2. And it's raining, but they look, what's the emotion that you can see? They're looking pretty happy, aren't they? So I think it's going to be a happy ending. Although it's got the word bad news in it. Maybe a happy ending. Okay, should we look at the book? Okay, let's go. Good News, Bad News by Jeff Mack. Good news. So he's looking, what emotion do you think he's got? He's looking pretty happy, isn't he? What about this guy? He's kind of looking a little scared, a little shy, a little confused. Let's see what's going to happen. Bad news. Good news. Bad news. How do you think he's looking? He's like, oh, surprised. Good news. Bad news. Good news. Bad news. Good news. They both look pretty happy there, don't they? He looks a little almost surprised and disgusted, doesn't he? Bad news. Good news. Bad news. Good news. How does he look? Kind of a little sad, isn't he? Bad news. Oh dear, how do they look here? Good news. Bad news. Good news. Bad news. dear. He doesn't look very happy, does he? I think... How do you think he's going to feel the next page? Bad, 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 bad news. How do you think he is? How do you think he's feeling? He's looking really mad. And so, do you think he's saying this? Do you think he's yelling bad news loudly or whispering it softly? Yeah, I think he's saying it loudly, isn't it? This whole picture says that he's just really, really mad. He's yelling, isn't he? Yell. Yell begins with the letter Y. He's yelling it really loud, and you can tell by the words are very big. They're very bold. Bad, 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 bad news. Oh, how do you think the bunny's feeling? Oh. Bad news. He's really sad, isn't he? He's really sad. Oh. What's happening here? What's the weather looking like? Kind of looks a little excited, doesn't he? He's had an idea, hasn't he? It's like, oh. Good news! Very good news. So who do you think were the main characters in this book? I think there were two, weren't there? I think the rabbit and the mouse. They were on every single page. They were going through this adventure together, weren't they? So there were some minor characters. There was the bear, wasn't there? And can you think of some other minor characters? Came in just for a couple of pages. There were, that's right, there were the bees, and then there was one more. Who was in the apple? It was the worm, wasn't it? Okay. There we go. So I hope you have a good rest of the afternoon, and we will see you tomorrow. Okay, bye.